Welcome to the online lecture series offered by the Department of English, Pioneer College, Pioneer. Today, we are going to discuss the third chapter of the text, Plural Perspectives, which is a common paper prescribed for the second semester UG students of Kannur University. In this class, we are going to discuss an essay titled Dakshayani Velayathan, a biographical sketch written by Dr. Meera Velayathan. Speaking about the writer, Dr. Meera Velayathan is Dakshayani Velayathan's daughter. Meera Velayathan has been involved in gender studies since its inception in the early 1980s in India. She is a policy analyst and president of Indian Association for Women's Studies. Meera's work experience includes international organizations like UNICEF, CWDS, GRC, ICSSR, etc. Coming to the lesson, it's an essay about the life of Dakshayani Velayathan, Indian parliamentarian and social activist. The essay is briefly divided into 6 sections. The first section, titled Dakshayani Velayathan, a biographical sketch, narrates the radical social and political movements of Kerala before Dakshayani's birth. Dakshayani Velayathan grew up in a land which was getting stirred by struggles for equality and recognition. Dakshayani Velayathan was born on July 4, 1912 in the island of Bolgatti in Cochin in a Pulaya family. Like other Dalits, Pulayas too were treated like animals. Basic human rights were denied to these people. They had no access to public roads and were not allowed to wear upper clothes. Ayangali led anti-caste struggles against the restrictions on movement and the right to education for the depressed classes. Riding a bullock cart and wearing upper caste attire, Ayangali challenged upper caste authorities. This rebellion is known as Villuvandi Samaram in Kerala's history. Ayangali led assertions which exhorted lower caste women to wear upper cloth and throw away their stone necklaces. Ayangali approached the Travancore Divan with an appeal to issue an order which gave permission to the depressed classes the right to study in government schools. Ayangali realized that the government had already passed an order which gave lower caste people the right to enter and study in government schools. Upper caste authorities had hidden it as they were against this order. When Ayangali questioned this, he got an unfavorable reply. When the upper caste authorities refused to give lower caste children the opportunity and permission to study, Ayangali made schools for lower caste children. Upper caste people burned the school as it was made from wood and coconut leaves. Ayangali had to rebuild the school several times as upper caste people destroyed it every time Ayangali rebuilt it. In order to protest against this injustice, Ayangali declared an agricultural strike. Lower caste people refused to do agricultural jobs till their children got the permission to study in schools. The first agricultural strike in Kerala thus continued for 1.5 years. In this context too, fishermen came to the rescue of lower caste people by giving them job opportunities. At last, upper caste authorities conceded to the demands put forward by Ayangali. It is very important to remember that the agricultural strike led by Ayangali ensured minimum wages to Dalit workers, and instead of grain, laborers started receiving wages in the form of money. Ayangali formed an organization called Sadhujana Paripalana Sangham for the upliftment of the depressed classes. He also took initiatives to teach lower caste youngsters martial arts as upper caste landlords tried to suppress lower caste physically. When we move on to the second section, titled Dakshayani Writes, it gives a detailed description of her family, the strong foundation which gave her the strength and courage to question injustice. She acknowledges that she was born in a middle-class family. During those times, majority of the lower caste families were very poor and they depended upon the upper caste landlords for their survival. Dakshayani Velayudan writes that two of her brothers were the first in their community to crop their hair and wear shirts. Dominant communities of the region, Latin Christians and well-off Iravas, insulted and attacked these brothers. As a protest against casteism, Dakshayani Velayudan's brothers composed songs and poems narrating the struggles of lower caste people. Pule Mahajana Sabha, an organization formed by Dakshayani Velayudan's elder brothers with her uncle Krishnedi and Pandit Karuppan, fought for the rights of Dalits. Before getting into other important points of this essay, let's have a brief look at the lives of Krishnadi Ashan and Pandit Karuppan and the contributions made by these two great leaders. Krishnadi Ashan. Krishnadi Ashan is one of the important Kerala Renaissance leaders who played an important role in forming Pule Mahajana Sabha. He secretly learned Sanskrit and music as upper caste authorities forbade lower caste people from learning Sanskrit and music. Besides mastering this, Krishnadi Ashan taught Dalits Sanskrit and music. Thus, Krishnadi got the name Ashan, meaning master. Krishnadi Ashan was brutally attacked several times by upper caste people for raising his voice against caste discrimination. Krishnadi Ashan later converted to Christianity as he found Hinduism lacking humane qualities. He accepted the name C.K. John and later expressed his dejection as Christianity too showed discrimination to Dalit converts. Pandit Karuppan. Pandit Karuppan, popularly known as Kerala Lincoln, was born in Cochin in 1885. He is one of the first Kerala Renaissance leaders who used literary works, especially poems, as a medium of protest against casteism and untouchability. The most popular work written by Pandit Karuppan is Jadi Kummi. He took initiatives to form fisheries schools. He formed many organizations for the upliftment of the depressed classes. Society paid its respect towards Karuppan and his scholarship by conferring him titles like Pandit and Vidwan. Pandit Karuppan and Krishnadi Ashan faced many difficulties when they tried to conduct a meeting of Pule Mahajana Sabha. Members of the Pule Mahajana Sabha had to seek the help of fishermen community to conduct a meeting in the sea as the Cochin Maharaja had prohibited the untouchables from holding meetings on his land. Pulayas worked mainly in the fields of upper caste landlords. The main producers of the grain were not allowed to attend an agricultural exhibition held in Ernakulam due to their lower caste status. They later got permission from the Cochin Maharaja when Krishnadi Ashan and Dakshayani Velayudan's brothers wrote an appeal in the form of a poem. The third section, titled The Many Firsts of Dakshayani's Life, discusses how Dakshayani Velayudan faced many difficulties and hurdles to achieve success. Dakshayani Velayudan, the first Dalit woman graduate in India, faced discrimination from her own teachers. She was not allowed to observe laboratory experiments and had to learn everything by observing things from a distance. While working as an L2 teacher in Peringotikara, an area dominated by well-educated Iravas, Dakshayani Velayudan realized that educated people too can fall into the clutches of superstition. Casteism didn't allow Dakshayani Velayudan to draw water from the well in the house where she lived. She had to depend on her mother, who was a Christian convert. At the end of the section, name of Dakshayani Velayudan's work, Down Memory Lane of Politics, is mentioned. The fourth section, titled Dakshayani with C. Rajagopalachari and N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar gives a brief description about Dakshayani Velayudhan's political life. Dakshayani Velayudhan was asked to resign her government job when she went to seek nomination as member of Legislative Council. When Dakshayani Velayudhan was finally nominated to the Cochin Legislative Council, she was married and her husband was employed. This made her it affordable to resign her job. Now let's move on to the fifth section titled Wedding and a Life in Gandhi's Ashram. It discusses Dakshayani Velayudhan's marriage with R. Velayudhan and her life in Gandhi's ashram. Dakshayani Velayudhan's marriage was held in the presence of Mahatma Gandhi and Kasturba Gandhi, with Allappa officiating as a priest. Dakshayani Velayudhan had difficulty in adjusting with the food in ashram. On August 2nd, 1945, Dakshayani spoke for the first time in the Cochin Legislative Council in English. Now, the sixth section. The sixth and last section of the essay, titled Member of the Constituent Assembly, describes in detail Dakshayani Velayudhan's social and political life. Dakshayani, a Gandhian, supported Ambedkar's views on many issues, but Dakshayani had her own independent views on untouchability and reservation for lower caste people. According to her, the word Harijan is meaningless as long as there exists caste discrimination and untouchability in society. Social and political upliftment of the Dalits would bring no positive change if lower caste people remain economic slaves of upper caste people. Dakshayani Velayudhan believed that there is no use for reservation if a society divides people as lower and upper caste. On July 22, 1946, Dakshayani Velayudhan became a member of the Constituent Assembly. She actively engaged and raised many sharp questions on many important topics. Dakshayani held the view that beyond framing a constitution, the constitution should give people a new framework of life. She believed that only an independent socialist republic can provide equality and dignity to Dalits. Dakshayani Velayudhan was against separate electorate for untouchables. She opposed untouchability and slave labor. Rather than working in organizations which were elitist in nature, Dakshayani Velayudhan preferred to work for marginalized people who needed help and support. In the later stage of her political life, Dakshayani Velayudhan moved away from active politics. She formed an organization called Mahila Jagriti Parishad in 1977 with other Ambedkarite middle-class women. They worked among the women sweepers of South Delhi. The organization provided basic literacy and training for alternate employment skills to sweeper women. Thus, she proved that in order to serve people, one needs to have only the willingness and desire to do constructive work. Dakshayani Velayudhan, who was called the child of social change, passed away on 20th July 1978. Now, let's discuss 15 short questions from this chapter. First question. In which year was Dakshayani Velayudhan born? Answer. Dakshayani Velayudhan was born in 1912. Second question. In which year did Iyengar begin his work for freedom? Iyengar began his work for freedom in 1893. Third question. Mention any two symbols of caste slavery that Iyengar sought to eradicate. Ayyangali sought to eradicate prohibition on access to public roads and right of education for lower caste people. Fourth question. What was Dakshayani Velayudan's father by profession? Dakshayani's father was a village school teacher. Fifth question. What were the hardships that Dakshayani Velayudan's brothers had to face when they entered public spaces? Dakshayani Velayudan's brothers were abused and stoned by those from the dominant communities of the region, Latin Christians and well-off Iravas. Sixth question. How did the Pule Mahajana Sabha overcome the Maharaja's order that untouchables should not hold their meetings on his land? Pule Mahajana Sabha members sought the help of fishermen community and made a raft by joining a large number of catamarans. Their meetings were held on the raft in the city. Seventh question. How did Pulayas gain entry to the agricultural exhibition held in Ernakulam? Dakshayani Velayudan's brothers and Krishnadi Ashan wrote an appeal to the Cochin Maharaja in the form of poetry, following which they were allowed entry. Eighth question. Who was the first Indian Dalit woman graduate? Dakshayani Velayudan was the first Indian Dalit woman graduate. Ninth question. Why did journalists want to photograph Dakshayani Velayudan as she entered Maharaja's college? The journalists wanted to photograph Dakshayani Velayudan because it was the first time a Pulaya woman was entering the college to study. Why did Dakshayani Velayudan have to learn chemistry experiments from a distance? Dakshayani Velayudan had to learn chemistry experiments from a distance because her upper caste teacher was hesitant to teach. 11th question. Why was Dakshayani Velayudan's application for nomination to Cochin Legislative Council rejected? Dakshayani Velayudan's application for nomination to Cochin Legislative Council was rejected as Dakshayani was a government employee then. 12th question. Which was the language chosen by Dakshayani Velayudan for her maiden speech at Cochin Legislative Council? Dakshayani Velayudan chose English language. 13. To which parties did Dakshayani Velayudan and her husband R. Velayudan belong to? Velayudan was with the socialists led by Ram Manohar Lohia, while Dakshayani remained with the Indian National Congress. 14th question. What was Dakshayani Velayudan's reason for not joining AIWC? The reason was elitist nature of the All India Women's Congress. 15th and last question. What was the organization founded by Dakshayani Velayudan in 1977? Mahila Jagrati Parishad MPJ was the organization founded by Dakshayani Velayudan in 1977. With this, we end this chapter. Thank you.